Welcome back to the channel, guys. In today's upload we are going to be going over a gold gun guide for the Mk9 Bruen. So the Mk9 Bruen, it is a LMG. You have to do a challenge to unlock it. It is not in the battle pass since it did just recently come into the game, and the challenge isn't too hard. You just got to kill 3 enemies near smoke. Not too hard, just a little bit annoying. Previously I did a best class setup for the Mk9 and I did the stats for that, so if you want to check out that, I'll have a link up by me right now. And if this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. I upload tips and tricks, best class setups, how-tos, and pretty much anything that's going to help improve your Call of Duty skill. So if you're looking to get better at the game, I highly recommend you hit that subscribe button, and while you're at it, ring that bell so you get notified whenever I upload and whenever I start my streams. And if you guys could leave an early like on the video, that'd be awesome. It really helps me out. But anyways, let's get right into this video. So while you're going for gold on the Mk9 Bruen, you most likely don't have the gun maxed out because you're still trying to get it gold. So there isn't really a class setup, but this is like a general build you want to get to. I like to have the monolithic suppressor just to add sound suppression and some extra range. I don't really care for the iron sights, so that's why I like the GI mini reflex. I do the no stock to add mobility, stipple grip tape just so I can aim in faster and my sprint to fire speed will be increased, and a 60 round mag because of all the bonuses that you get, and you only lose 40 rounds, so this attachment is amazing for the Mk9. So once you unlock this attachment, make sure you throw it on. And before I get into the camos, I'm going to be going over the modes that you want to focus on. There is pretty much always a small map playlist. Last week it was a 10v10 mosh pit on shipment, which was super easy to get camos, but this week it is dirty old houseboat. This is rush shipment and shoot house. And just the mosh pit game modes, this is the mode that you're going to want to focus on. But instead of just clicking on here, I want you guys to go over to the quick play, go over to the filter, and switch over to the hardcore area and play the hardcore dirty old houseboat. Since the Mk9 Bruen is a one shot one kill in hardcore, pretty much any range, hardcore is an amazing playlist for this gun. You could do the hardcore 10v10 mosh pit, but it usually chooses the bigger maps, which makes the game just overall a little bit slower. It just feels like a 6v6 on a bigger map. So I recommend staying on the hardcore dirty old houseboat or whatever it is when you're watching this video. Okay, now into the first camo. It is spray paint, and all you have to do is kill 525 enemies. This will be completed naturally. Now over to woodland, kill 75 enemies with headshots. This should be done naturally, but if you don't have it done by the time you have all the other camos done, I would throw on whatever optic you like, go into hardcore and just aim for the head, and just don't look down, just only go for headshots. And if you're playing shoot house, there's lots of people that like to sit on the half wall, and you can get easy headshots off that also. And now the next camo is digital. You have to kill 65 enemies while crouching. This one's pretty easy. What I like to do is run around the map. When I see someone, I'll just crouch, or I'll hold a flank and just sit there and wait for enemies to come to me while I'm crouching. So this one isn't too bad, just crouch and kill people. And now over to the dragon, you are going to have to get 45 hipfire kills. What I recommend for you guys to do for this challenge is to go over to the laser and throw on the 5 MW laser. This will increase your hipfire accuracy and your sprint to fire speed, so you can run around the map and just hip fire. What I like to do for the hip fire is just to use the gun regularly, and when I get close to someone, I'll just hip fire, or I'll go on for big flanks and try to come up behind the enemies, then I'll just hip fire them all down. Pretty easy, just hip fire and use the laser. And the next camo is splinter. You have to get 45 long shots. For the long shots, what I recommend you guys to do is to throw on a zoomed optic. What I prefer is to do a thermal or a sniper scope, and then I'll go into this half wall that you see up on screen right now, and I will just mount there, getting my mounting kills and my long shots at the same time, because the range from this half wall to the other half wall, that is a long shot. Another thing that I like to do is just to lay down in front of the half wall, kind of conceals yourself and lots of enemies don't expect you to be there, so you can pick off a couple easy kills. The next camo is the topo camo. You have to get 45 kills while mounted, and you should have the mounting kills done by the time you get the long shots. If you're going for long shots, just make sure you mount, and then you can get your long shots done at the same time you're doing the mounting kills. And now over to the tiger camo. You have to get 180 kills while using all the attachments. This is pretty straightforward, just play the game with all your attachments, super easy. Try to get this build for the Mk9 and just play it regularly until you complete this challenge. Now over to stripes, which is get 30 double kills. If you're playing hardcore, I guarantee you guys by the time this gun is maxed out, you will have all the double kills done, or by the time you finish all the other camos, this camo will be done. If you are struggling to get the double kills, I would just go on for big flanks, try to come up behind the enemies, or just hold down a flank area or hold down a objective area and let the enemies come to you, and naturally you will be getting double kills. Now over to reptile, which is getting 75 kills with no attachments. Super easy, take off all the attachments, play the game regularly until you get those 75 kills. And now over to skulls, you have to kill 3 enemies without dying 25 times. This should happen naturally, but if it doesn't, just try to hold down areas, just let enemies come to you. That's the best way to streak up in this game. Because of the way that the game was made, if you let enemies come to you, it is way easier to go on streaks rather than you pushing the enemies. But just by playing naturally, you should be able to rack up all these, especially using that class I had up on screen. And that is going to wrap it up for all the camo parts. Now I'm going to be showing you guys a full class setup for the weapon. The secondary doesn't matter, but one thing I kind of like to do to make my life easier, I don't always do it because it's scummy, but if you want to make it easier, I would throw on the overkill perk, and then throw on the riot shield, so then when you're playing hardcore, if an enemy comes up behind you, they'll hit the shield first, then you have a chance to turn on them. Having the shield on my back has saved me dozens of times but just remember it's kind of scummy, lots of people will give you hate for it. And now for the perks, I like to use cold-blooded to protect me from thermals. I do overkill so I can have the shield, or if you're not doing the shield thing, I would recommend doing ghost or high alert so you know if someone's looking at you. And for the last perk, I like to run tracker because I am playing lots of hardcore. And when I'm playing hardcore, I usually like to go on for flanks, and when you kill enemies, it won't show the skull that usually pops up. It'll actually conceal that, and so the enemies will have a hard time finding you. And now over to the lethals, I just use a claymore. Really doesn't matter at all, I just use a claymore since I am sometimes mounted up when I'm going for gold, and I don't want enemies to come up behind me. And for the tactical, I like to do a stim, smoke, or stun grenade. Pretty much your personal preference. And that's going to wrap it up for the gold camo guide for the Mk9 Bruen. If you guys did enjoy this video, please let me know in the comments. I reply to everyone. And if you haven't liked the video, make sure you hit the like button. It really helps out the video. But anyways guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, well, this mad world made me crazy. Might just turn